Game 4, Dallas, Minnesota. We want to be on Jaden McDaniels under 11 points. That's going to be one of the picks I'm going over, but first let's recap last night's picks. Went 2-2 here, nothing too impressive. Connor McDavid did end up getting his 2 points, but surprisingly, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins could not get an assist on either of those. He was on the line for both of those points, but did not get the assist. And Pascal Siakam at 3 assists could not get that fourth when Naismith did clear that line. Like I said, he was kind of my favorite prop last night, and it wasn't the easiest prop in the world, but he did end up finishing with 14. So 2-2 last night. Let's get onto the board. I'm going to be creating 2 slips in this video. So let's start with the Jaden McDaniels pick I was talking about on the 11 points, guys. You want to be on his under. I don't really care about the past 5. I say this in every single video. But it's pretty crazy what I'm seeing. I never really see this on Prizepicks. It's a pretty rare occurrence. But if we go and check Jaden McDaniels' juice on some sportsbook, you're going to see, first of all, he's set at 10.5 points. And you're going to see, second of all, that he has juice towards the under 10.5 points. So minus 125 that he goes under. So his under 10.5 is already less likely to occur than his over 10.5. Yet Prizepicks has him set at 11 points. And that's not just one sportsbook. If we go over to Pinnacle, you're going to see once again heavy juice on his under 10.5 points at minus 132. We're getting him at 11 on Prizepicks. Normally, it would be the opposite. Like you'd see minus 132 juice on the over 10.5. So Prizepicks would bump him up to 11. In this case, not only do we have the direction correct on the under, we're getting a half point of advantage. I'll show you how this looks on the OddsJuice dashboard. You can see Jaden McDaniels under 11.0 points. The line is set at 10.5 on the sports books, and we're getting minus 113 fair odds. So 53% chance that he goes under 10.5. And on top of that, we have him at 11. So really, our fair odds are probably at like 56, 57% chance because we get that half point of protection on top of the fact that he's already juiced towards the under. And right away, you can see another 2 good props from Minnesota on the under. So Mike Conley under 20.5 points, rebounds, assists. This is a good replacement pick if Jaden McDaniels does end up getting bumped, but we'll talk about that a bit later. So minus 125, 55.56% chance that Mike Conley goes under 20.5 PRA. And then, of course, Anthony Edwards all the way at the top here. 56% chance that he goes under 6.5 assists. And I'm sure a lot of you guys might be on his over because he has been doing well in the assist department, or maybe on his rebounds, assists. I didn't really look into that too deep, but on his assists, you want to be on the under, despite the fact that he dropped 9 assists last game, despite the fact that he's averaging 7 in the last 5. You want to be on his under because I'm telling you this prop will most likely get bumped to 6. So if you do like his over, at least wait for him to get bumped down to 6 assists, because in that case, you're going to be capturing a half point. So if he does get 6 exactly, at least you're pushing it. And the reason I believe he's going to get bumped down to 6 is exactly what I showed you on the dashboard. 56% chance that he goes under 6.5 assists. Normally when there is a prop like this on Prizepicks, I'm filming this quite early at 10 a.m., earlier than usual, this will get bumped. So I've seen this in front of my face multiple times. Hopefully this is not bumped by the time the video goes out, but under 6.5 assists will likely get bumped down to 6. And the only reason it gets bumped down to 6 is because the under 6.5 assists is too good. So I'm telling you right now, without even looking into any stats, anything deeper, any matchups, whatever it may be, the under 6.5 assists is the correct play, whether it hits or not. Because you're likely going to see it get bumped down to 6.0. If the over was the correct play, you would see it get bumped to 7, right? That only makes sense, right? If 6.5 on the over is too good, they'd want to bump it to 7, so it's less likely to hit. So under 6.5 assists on Edwards, under 11 points on Jaden McDaniels. Both these lines are too good. They make no sense, especially Jaden McDaniels on the points. Now let's go and take a look at points from assists from Jaden McDaniels. If we type him in, you're going to see about 75% of his field goals made are going to be assisted. Of course, that is a great stat for us, especially when we're stacking it up with Anthony Edwards on his assists. If Anthony Edwards is going under his assists, it's more likely Jaden McDaniels is also going under his points. And you can see that relationship in the past 3 out of 5 games. In this case, it was more green than red. But in 3 of the past 4 games, they did go green together. So in this game here, so 2, 3, and 5. And you're going to see something similar for Anthony Edwards. If you go and see his 2, 3, and 5, obviously Anthony Edwards cleared it alone in this game. But it's not going to happen every single game. That pass is going to be going to Jaden McDaniels from Edwards. It's just more likely to happen, right? We're always thinking what is more likely to happen, not what is going to happen, because we don't know. Once these players get on the court, it's up to them to make the plays. But we want to find out what is more likely before the game even starts. And in this case, I think the stack is a beautiful one for tonight. I'm not saying it will hit, I'm saying it's more likely to hit. To finish off the 4-man, we're going to go over to Esports, and there's 2 great props that I'm liking. The first one is this guy, Zertion, and I found a really good value on both these props. So Zertion is playing for Moose, and he's set at 33.5 map 1-2 kills. I always compare these lines to underdog to see if we're getting a decent line. And right away, you could see 30.5 map 1-2 kills on underdog. It's the same exact game, Moose versus G2. But on Prizepicks, we're getting him at 33.5 map 1-2 kills. Now, we don't know who's correct on these lines. Maybe Prizepicks line at 33.5 is more accurate, or maybe it's somewhere in the middle. But I do know is that we're getting the highest value on Prizepicks if we're to take the under, because we could go on underdog and take his over 30.5. Because on underdog, he's only set at 30.5. Why would we grab a lower 30.5 when we have the same prop on Prizepicks at 33.5? Similar concept to when I'm comparing sportsbooks to Prizepicks. We want to be getting the highest discrepancy and points of value within our favor. Now, what you could even do is go on underdog and grab the over 30.5. If he lands at 31, 32, or 33, you're going to cash both your props on both apps. But in this case, we're not going to go with that. We're going to just go with a simple correlation stack. Zertion plays for moves. So in CS2, you want to grab players from the opponent team. In this case, it's G2 in the same direction. So my play on G2 is actually Monesi on his under 14.5 map point 2 headshots. Again, I compare this to underdog, 33.5 map point 2 kills on Prizepick, 14.5 map point 2 headshots on Prizepicks. If you go and check on underdog, you're going to see in the kills department, we get one full kill of value, but also in the headshots department, we get a full headshot of value. That is why I'm going with the headshots instead of the kills. I'd rather have a headshot of discrepancy over a kill of discrepancy. NBA terms, think of getting like an extra point versus getting an extra rebound. Of course, you'd rather an extra rebound because there's way more variation in getting an extra rebound versus getting an extra point. So that's why I'm going with the headshots prop instead, especially because they both only have a 1 discrepancy. If it was like a 2 kill discrepancy and a 1 headshot discrepancy, then I feel like they're kind of equal. But in this case, since it's 1-1, we're going to go with the headshots. So this was the first slip. I was about to lock it in. And as I did, he just got bumped to 10.5 points. I'm talking about Jaden McDaniels here. So that just proves that the 11 was too high. You want it to be on the under. Now, instead of going with Jaden McDaniels, I'm going to go for the replacement prop that I had originally. And that was Mike Conley on his under 20.5 points plus rebounds assists. It's unfortunate because it's not as correlated, but there was pretty heavy juice on his under 20.5 as I showed in the beginning of the video. Obviously, Mike Conley is not getting a big portion of his points from assists like Jaden McDaniels is. If you go and check the player's scoring, 54.5% of his field goals made are assisted, which is unfortunate. It's not as good as Jaden, but I still like to double unders on this because first of all, unders are generally better and unders are even more correlated with some slower paced games. So if it does happen to be slower pace, it's more likely that both these guys go under together. So I'm okay with it. If you did like the Jaden McDaniels pick, which you probably didn't because you guys are probably hammering the over because of these past 5, well, then you could still go with the under 10.5 points. I showed you there still is pretty decent juice on that, about 53% chance that he goes under that prop. So you could go with that instead if you don't like Mike Conley for some reason. But this is going to be the first 4 power with no bumps. And then we're going to go over to the NHL and make a full NHL slip. The first prop I'm going with is the goals allowed in the first 10 minutes. Now, these playoffs games in both series have been kind of slow paced. There hasn't been too many goals. But in the NHL, despite the fact that both these goalies have been absolutely going ham, goals allowed in the first 10 minutes is the correct play on the over. And I know this because we could go with the Bet365 and they actually have the same exact prop. So you're going to see first 10 minutes total over half. It's the same exact thing on Prizepicks, over half a goal within the first 10 minutes. They're talking about the goalies in this case, but just generally the total minus 140 plus 100. If we go and translate that into some real odds, we're going to see minus 140 plus 100 is about a 53.85% chance that it goes over half a goal within the first 10 minutes. So that is why the over is the correct direction. On top of that, I like to stack it up with some players here. So the first one I'm going to go with is Panarin on his over half assist. The second one I'm going to go with is Barkov on his over half assist. Now for these props to even hit in the first place, both the Rangers and the Panthers are going to have to get a goal. Now if Barkov or Panarin clear their line within the first 10 minutes, then of course this will also cash. And the fact that we have 2 players, we have both teams here, it doesn't matter who gets the assist first or who gets the goal. It just matters that it happens within the first 10 minutes. It's very likely that if there is a goal in the first 10 minutes, one of these guys is going to cash their prop, assuming that the Panthers score or assuming that the Rangers score. Now on top of that, I'm going to stack up this Panarin pick with Chris Kreider. These guys do not play on the same main line, but they do play on the same power play line. I'll just show you guys right here. So power play unit is Panarin here at right wing, Chris Kreider at left wing, but in the original lines, Chris Kreider is a left winger and Panarin is also a left winger. So they don't play on the same line, but they still will be playing together on the power play. So what could happen is similar to what I explained yesterday with McDavid and Nugent Hopkins. Of course, that did not pan out last night, but Panarin could pass a throw check could pass to Kreider, and Kreider could score. That would be a point for Kreider and an assist for Panarin, because how it works in NHL is every second pass still counts as an assist. Imagine Doncic passing to Kyrie passes to Derek Jones, and Derek Jones scores. That would be an assist for both. So it's not that hard to get an assist in the NHL. The good thing about all these players is there's slight juice towards the over, especially on Kreider. If you go over to Pinnacle, you'll see Barkov does have a bit of juice towards the over, minus 118 on his over rather than his under. Same thing for Panarin, minus 117 on his over assists, minus 113 on his under, and then lastly, Kreider does have the most juice here at minus 129 towards the over, minus 105 on the under. That is great to see. A bit of juice on Panarin and Barkov, but Chris Kreider does have a very good juice. And again, this is going to pay 10x. And I want to show you something very important. If we go over to same game parlay and make this exact same slip on Bet365. So Panarin on 1 assist, Barkov on 1 assist. If we go over to points and take Chris Kreider on 1 point. And then if we go over to the first 10 minutes total and grab the over half a goal, you're going to see it's the exact same slip. Panarin 1+ assists, Barkov 1+ assists, Chris Kreider 1+ points, and over half a goal in the first 10 minutes. If we lock this in for $100, we're only paid out $7.25. On Prizepicks, we're getting this in a 4-man power, which is going to pay us 10x. So that's going to be 100 into 1K rather than 100 into 725. We are making an additional $275 by playing this on Prizepicks rather than a sportsbook. And you'll see this with a bunch of sportsbooks that have same game parlays. So that is how you know it is a positive EV pick that is very good for us. So we're going to lock these two 4 powers in. Good luck, everyone.